Welcome back. Welcome back to Alien Eyes Photos Industry Talk, everyone. This is episode 6. We are journaling, audio blogging, or we call it podcasting. Yes, episode 6 of Alien Eyes Photos Industry Talk. I am moving like a train, like a locomotive, they may say. In episode 6, I would like to talk about value. Let's talk about value. And now, if you're tuning in for the first time, I like to keep these episodes pretty short, close to 23 minutes, like the old school TV shows. 23 minutes and a 30-minute time slot on TV, not counting the commercials. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Value. Now they say value is the importance, the worth, the desirability, the measure of something beneficial in standards, principles, and usefulness. Or usefulness, let's say. Some may also say it is their beliefs or what is right or wrong. Value ultimately guides decisions. And if you remember in episode 3, titled Decision Making, where I broke down decisions and the importance of decision making, that is a great episode to go back and check out if you have not listened. That's episode 3, Decision Making. Episode 3 of Alien Eyes Photos Industry Talk, focusing all on decisions. It's a quick, juicy one. A good question to ask yourself would be, what do you value? What in life or your career do you value? Also, to further that thought, what is your value? So, what do you value and what is your value? 2 powerful questions to propel you in life and also your career in or entrepreneur journey. I like to think of the economics concept of economic costs when I think of value. When choosing between multiple options, you're giving up the potential gain of the option you don't choose. It is the value of what you give up when you choose one option over another. Going back again to episode 3, when I spoke on decision making, opportunity cost is purely about decision making and your decisions that lead and guides your life. It weighs the advantages to the disadvantages. Saying yes to something is giving up another thing or something else or somebody, if you want to take it down that road. It's giving up something in sacrifice for something else, whether that's time, a resource, a person, place, thing. If you go here, well, then you're not going to be able to go there. If you go to the amusement park versus going to the studio, well, you just miss out on that studio time for having fun or time with the family. If you want to go out to on a date versus spending time with the family and kids, well, you better drop them kids off and y'all go on that date. Or if you're taking one business move versus another, it's a sacrifice. You have to choose. And I like how episode 3, it starts off with that. And then it leads to this, because your decisions and values go together. They date, they couple. They're in the same group, in the same family. It's important. So think about your decisions. Think about your value and what you value. Another thing, another man's trash is another man's treasure. So if I threw out, let's say, old basketball card I have no use for, I don't need these no more. I don't need these basketball cards. But little do I know, it's worth 10 million or 10 grand or even $1 billion or whatever the value may be to some of these cards. But I want to get rid of it because it's just, I don't want to hoarder and just keep all this stuff. I want business books instead of baseball cards or basketball cards. Because I like basketball, but never owned any basketball cards. I had Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, but that was, childhood. Never owned any sports cards, no basketball, no football, no baseball cards. But yeah, if these basketball cards end up being 10 grand, 10 million, $1 billion in value, but I don't know it because I'm trying to give it, away for a couple dollars, thinking, oh, I don't need this no more. I don't see the significance or importance of it. I don't see the value in it, or it doesn't have value to me. But someone that collects these cards, these basketball cards, they know the value and have value in these cards, and they buy it from me for pennies, dollars, and they know the worth and get that 10 grand, that 10 million, that $1 billion, whatever the worth may be, collectively. Told you, one of these days I'm going to spit a poem. I'll just freestyle a poem or a rap or something for y'all. Y'all going to really, really, really get some good behind the scenes content of me and my poetry one day. One of these episodes. But yeah. I digress. So back to that. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. You do not really like money. Some do, but you don't really like money. You like what money can give and provide for you. You like the outcome money can give you. You don't really like money itself, the credit or the paper dollars, the penny, nickels, dimes, quarters, 50-cent pieces. You like what it can give you, like the freedom, the time, and things of that nature. But do you like money itself? I don't think so. Sorry, guys. I'm adjusting this time lapse so I can have a little content for y'all. As this is not traditionally a video podcast. This is strictly audio. But gotta have some content. I am a video producer, do a lot of video production, event photography, so I gotta have some type of camera work. What would I be if I don't have any camera work? And I am in this profession. Right? But I love time lapses. It shows the process and the speedy time, and a lot of people's attention span is not long, so it kind of see the whole process in a short amount of time. Shout outs to the time lapse and whoever made time lapses. Another concept I would like to bring up. Let's talk about cards. Speaking about more cards, let's talk about the game of cards. Let's talk about blackjack. And my last name is Jackson, hence Photographer Jackson. So blackjack. It's definitely close. Not the founding, what they say, creator of the game, but it's close to my name. Oh my goodness. One of these days I'm going to spit a poem for y'all. It's just natural. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry, but it's just sorry for the wait. That's what I want to say. But going to blackjack, I like to say never split tens. So always think about that. Never split tens. That's a 10, a queen, a king, a jack. King, queen, jack, or a 10. Never split tens. A blackjack metaphor to the second highest hand after 21. It is a classic game of 21 or the closest to the number 21 without going over. With the value cards of 10 each, which is 20. I will never statistically gamble or sacrifice the second closest to a winning hand with 20. Yes, I will never split tens and sacrifice the second closest to a winning card hand with 20, only to hope for 2 more chances of 20. Take the 20 while you have it. Most people experience and be bold because they want to experiment and be greedy and split the value 10 cards in hopes to get another 10 value card back to back when there is a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2 value cards as well, which is a higher chance of receiving one of those cards versus another 10 value card. Statistically, or normally, with 52 cards per deck, there are 16 value cards of 10. So 16 chances to receive a 10 value card, minus the 2 10s you already have, which would be 14 chances out of 52, plus another 4 chances of receiving an ace, which is a value of 1 or a value of 11 card. With a 10, it is automatically 21. So if you have an ace and a 10, it's automatically 21. If you get that dealt first, that's a blackjack. If not, you just have 21. You win a little bit more on a natural blackjack if you dealt that first. But if you split 10s, you just win even money. But the chances are slim with 28 value cards lower than the 10, which is that 2 through 9. So, again, never split 10s. Take that 20. Because the chances are slim. Again, 28 value cards are lower than 10, which are 2 through 9, and is most likely to happen. Then splitting 10s and receiving another 10 or an ace. Another analogy for it is splitting or breaking up 2 powerful leaders that complement and work well together. Dividing them have the reverse momentum and go directly downhill. This is why I always suggest never split 10. Never split 10s. Just check my backup audio. It says it's paused. Deal with that a little later. As long as I got this, I should be fine. So I'm going to keep rolling. Speaking more on the value. Going back to what do you value? What is your value? And I know I can speak about me. Well, let's start with music and poetry. I did a lot of open mics, which I had to pay to perform. And then I ended up knowing my value as the more and more and more I did these open mics. And, I looked at it as practice. And I started performing and hosting and touring, which is fun. But at the time, a lot of money for poets wasn't high, or at least the markets I was in, they were not lucrative to have a career for me to lead a 9 to 5, which was definitely a goal, and I could have got there. But I used to pull out my phone, take pictures, and record others on my iPhone. Shout outs to Apple iPhones. And then send it to them. Then I'm like, why don't I just invest in a camera? And once I invested in a camera, I never looked back. I started studying, taking courses, watching videos, doing masterminds, had a couple mentors, luckily, to excel my path in the media, visual media, with photography. And now I specialize in event photography, do a lot of video production, podcast production, a lot of behind the scenes work. So if you need some behind the scenes content, or if you need content creation in general, definitely let me know. Send me a message. Visit alieneyesphotos.com, or you can follow me on social media at alieneyesphotos.com. And that's eyes like your eyeballs with a Z, and photos like the pictures with an S. Alien Eyes Photos. And yeah. And then started my company, Alien Eyes Photos Media. I used to do a lot of free events just on my own will, just to practice, make sure I got, all my ducks in a row, eggs in a basket. And then I started with $50 photo shoots. Now, this is not events, this is strictly portrait photo shoots and headshots. Over time, slowly increased that, but for the longest, I was $50. But $50 now, I can't do anything. I can't pay staff. I could barely pay myself, in which, a lot of the revenue that I did incur or obtain, no pain, no gain. In my first 2 years, I didn't pay myself at all. I wanted strictly for my business, for my business to grow, and all the software I have to pay for. If I hire, contract people out, of course I got to pay them. So staff, all the help, the systems, a lot of that is the programs, even the education, a lot of that costs. And so I was just reinvesting in myself. And, I haven't took a penny from my business in so long. I paid myself once in these first 3 years, and I'm still not paying myself. So I do have a 9 to 5 job to sustain myself, my bills, and my other obligations and family stuff I have to pay for, bills, finances, taxes, expenses, list goes on, emergency stuff. So yeah, working a job, some too, but I'm like, I cannot do 2 jobs and run a podcast. This is before I started my own podcast, before I started Alien Eyes Photos Industry Talk. I am the proud producer and creative director over at the Pull-Up Experience podcast. And the Pull-Up Experience is the premier entrepreneur elevation group here in Cleveland, Ohio. Definitely my production partners in media. And then to further extend, I am in Launch Arts Media. Shout out to Launch Arts Media. My other production partners, we do a lot of video production, a lot of events, a lot of green screen work. So if you really want that big production, I have an extended team at Launch Arts Media. Definitely contact them or me, because I am a part of the team. And yeah, we could get you handled with all your media needs. But again, increasing that volume, starting at 50, and now I would say transparently, my hourly rate which I try not to charge hourly, but it breaks down and people relate to that the most, which calculates about $300 an hour. So you could do the math. And I know weddings, it could be a little bit more, but for an event, it's typically $300 an hour. Photos could be a little less, video could be a little more, but the average is about $300 an hour. Now, I will tell you this for those who want to book me. If I don't have to edit, it will be a lot less cheaper for you. Trust me. I incentivize those who do not want me to edit, because that's just, I left my time, and it was like, okay, I show up for the event or do the photo shoot or whatever, and then I got to go home, I go to the office, go to the studio, and sit behind a computer and edit, when I could just give you the files right there. If you have an inside editor or someone you work with, or you do a lot of video editing, you put videos together yourself, you just need the footage. Oh, I'm your guy. If I just got to shoot it, I am there. And I'm going to be excited about it. Because all I got to do is film or take the photos and send it to you. And that's just me knowing my value of time. Like, I could do 2 or 3 events versus one and have to edit, all of this stuff. And that's why a lot of photographers, videographers charge more, because it takes time to edit. It's more time than the event and the photo shoot, the little details, the chops. It's a lot, trust me. We don't just be saying these prices just to say these prices, It's also, our expertise. It's our cameras, our lighting, like all this equipment, our training, the time on the back end, the time on the front end, these pre-calls, the discovery calls, going down the rabbit hole with all the list of things we have to do. And I have a long list, and I really have it, and I do send it out for those that ask for it, because it's a lot. But again, know my value. If I don't have to edit, I will gladly send it to you right then and there. Within 24 hours usually. I say 48 just to be good. But 24 hours. But also, don't be putting filters. I can speak for myself, but I know a lot of photographers, they don't like you putting filters on their work, especially if they edited already. Don't put a filter on it. But if you don't know how to edit, just be upfront. Because we don't want you just messing up our work. Or you. Because, we want you to look good. And be a visual representation of yourself. Again, that's knowing your value. Now, some of the things I value, like I said, is time. Now, I want you to reflect. What do you value? Again, time is one of my biggest. Freedom is one of my biggest. Peace, love. I value those things. Community, coaching, event photography. I value these things. I look at myself as a historian. Documenting time, documenting history. And that's why I love it. When people contact me like, oh, I want you to be there at my event to document everything. And I'm like, everything? Well, what's important? What are the things you value? And we kind of limit it down to that. And I capture it. Of course, I capture the extra, or the good moments, the fun times, the experiences, the essence of the event, the storytelling. I cater it. I document it. I'm a real visual historian. So, again, if you want to book me, I am photographer Jackson of Alien Eyez Photos. Visit alieneyesphotos.com. That's eyes with a Z, photos with a S. alieneyesphotos.com. And follow me on all social media platforms at Alien Eyez Photos. And yes, this has been a great one. Episode 6 of Alien Eyez Photos Industry Talk. We are rolling. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Again, if you like this, go over and listen to the Pull Up Experience podcast on all streaming platforms. Our current episodes release on YouTube. We're catching up with the audio, and trust me, I'm I'm on the team. I'm like, we gotta get this audio. How I'm gonna surpass y'all. We have at the time of this recording, almost at episode 300. So yeah, I'm doing. My daughter just walked in. Hey, baby, you good? Mm-hmm. You good? You want to say hey to everybody while you're here? I guess. You said she guessed? All right. I'm actually closing out the episode, so this would be good timing for you. You want to say hey to everybody?
Hey!
Say what's up?
What's up?
All right. Yeah, we closing out episode 6 of Alien Eyes Photos Industry Talk. About to go spend time with my daughter, relax while I can, get something to eat and chill. And I am out. I'm your host, Photographer Jackson of Alien Eyes Photos. This has been a great one. Thank you. Peace, love, and blessings. Always. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And remember your value. And remember your worth.